you talking about swapping girlfriends?
But even like maybe if you got a little high, maybe on a Saturday night or something like that, and you were like,
I'm even then.
yeah, like even if this couple was like up for anything and raring to go, and she was hot to trot, like a hot lady, it wouldn't matter. You wouldn't do it, right?
Nigga,
Hmm?
no.
You know, I gotta say, after watching this episode, I'm definitely a lot more intrigued. After last week in the the bombshell that was that whole breaking, bubbles breaking, I kind of thought, okay, what's next on the docket?
Pippa.
Well, as the end of the last episode alluded to, we got some new evil magical girls that got introduced to us, and let me run through the episode, give you guys the 101 on this episode. Or that's not at all how that's supposed to go, but you get the point. So we start this episode off out of nowhere. The creepy motherfucker for the evil magical girls comes to them and goes, "Hey, I need you guys to come to the evil Fortress of Solitude with me. Oh, and by the way, can you put on your magical girl costumes real quick for me?" And they're like, "Okay." Right? Obviously, Utena's like, "Okay. Why?" He's like, "No reason." They go to the evil Fortress of Solitude and they meet the brand new team. Now, I need a name for them. I'm not even going to try to pronounce any of their names because the only one I remember is Sister Gigantica, the Dom of the group, the failed pop star, and Leo. Yes, I'm going to call her Leo. That's what I'm going to call her. We get the two groups interact, and it doesn't go as you might imagine, at least for those who don't know about the manga. Right. I didn't know this, so I didn't know what the fuck to expect. So I didn't expect for them to get betrayed, essentially. Right? Where a conflict of interest happened, where basically creepy motherfucker went to the Dom, I should say, went, "Hey, we want to take over the world. We are powerful enough to do so." I'm like, okay. Then creepy motherfucker goes, "No, you're not." Even saying the pride before the fall. I'm like, okay, then he is just, he's laying it down. He's laying down the law. Okay. But no, it ends with a, how shall we say, confrontation between our trio of magical girls and Sister Gigantica. I regret what I said last episode, but not really. She's still hot, but it's just like, I'm not into that, fam. I'm just not. If that's your thing, man, cool. Going, I'm not down for going, snoo snoo, okay? I'm not down for that.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
So from there, the battle happens, and they barely, our trio of magical girls that we're following get, escape by the skin of their teeth. We then have a very interesting moment where Kiwi's kind of like, concerned about Utena's, like, because Utena's got really hurt after their escape and whatnot. Then Utena goes full blown insane mode. She has an insanity moment. And Kiwi kind of said what I was thinking. Jesus Christ, you are one crazy ass bitch.
Hell no, to the no, 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 hell to the no.
Because, you gotta see it to believe it, my friend. You gotta see it to believe it. Now, from there, Utena does end up, I believe, in a hospital. It's not a room. At least I don't think it was a room. It was a hospital. And she's obviously recovering from her injuries. Now, obviously, Kiwi is concerned. And I actually really did like the fact that it kind of does show Kiwi really does care about Utena. Beyond the whole, I want to, munch on your rug kind of thing. She does the whole, she actually does care for Utena. And it's nice to see. And Kiwi leaves with Alice to go get a, get well gift. Then there's a conversation that plays out between creepy motherfucker and Utena, where Utena kind of basically said, "You knew this was going to happen, and you specifically told us to get into costumes so that not only would our identities be preserved, but we would also be ready in the event that should they betray us, we can fight back." And it's kind of a moment that I found interesting because he kind of responded the way fitting of him, which was, "Oh, you're thinking like a villain now." Because you kind of have to think very cynically of people to come to that conclusion to where, creepy motherfucker basically was not really interested in not warning you because he knew that if he had said anything about this trap, essentially, that's what this was, then, well, you wouldn't have come. I kind of found that an interesting moment, and you kind of see her starting to really get into the mindset of what it's like being not only just an evil magical girl, but just generally thinking the worst of people. So I kind of found that interesting. Maybe I'm overanalyzing it. I don't fucking know. But that's just kind of the conclusion I came out of it. Then we have a moment where Alice and Kiwi go, get Utena's get well gift. This is where we lead to a confrontation between Kiwi, Alice versus musical girl. The confrontation happens, and I found it funny. It was a kind of a funny fight because essentially what it boiled down to, it was the way they defeated her was essentially by basically criticizing the shit, because there was a kind of like a musical note mid-fight, and I kind of found it hilarious because Kiwi said straight up what all of us were probably thinking. I was thinking it, but I didn't want to say anything because I was like, but she was terrible. Musical Girl was terrible. Her lyrics were shit. And Kiwi just said it all and said, your lyrics are garbage. Your singing is garbage. Why the hell do you want to be the only pop star in the world? If people had to listen to you, good lord, I'd rather claw their ears off. This obviously gets her really upset, and it kind of gives Kiwi and Alice a chance to escape, because they kind of realize they're not in a position to fight this girl, right? And so they're taking the chance to escape. There's a nice moment between them where kind of Kiwi learned her lesson of like, let's not rush into fights that I'm not ready to fight or that I don't have a plan to do so. Now, before this fight started, let me say this much. Kiwi, you are an asshole. Damn! For putting Alice's doll on a high enough place where she can't reach it. That was just an asshole move. I'm not gonna lie, fam. That's just being an asshole. Anyway, what else happened in this episode? Yes, the final kind of segments, which is Musical Girl obviously failed. She goes back to the Dom boss. Not that Don boss. Oh god. But she failed. The Dom, the leader, the Dom of the group, punishes her, whips the shit out of her and says, if you fail again, I will crush you in your dreams. And during this, while this is all playing out, Creepy Motherfucker's just watching this via, like, some magical security camera screen thing he has access to. He's just watching this unfold. So, I like this episode. I'm assuming this is the start of a new arc. That's what my assumption is, right? With the whole evil magical girls being introduced, and generally speaking, the beginning of an arc where Utena's going to be fighting some people, and I think this may be the arc where she kind of fully goes over to that side of the mindset. And, I forgot to mention this. We do have Bubbles kind of like trying to rebuild herself in the aftermath of basically falling to the dark side for a moment. Overall, I did like this episode. I really did. There was a couple storylines. It's like 3 different kind of webs of storylines now with the new evil magical girls, our trio that we've been following since the beginning, and obviously the good magical girls. Really did like this episode. Like I said, the good magical girls were kind of like, that's kind of in the background thing, so they're not as important. I can foresee a lot of things happening in the future with this kind of setup that they're going to do, which is like a split in the group, in the evil magical girl group as a whole. Like there's a kind of like a conflict of interest, because again, Utena makes it very clear. She's not in this to like kill magical girls or none of that garbage. She's in this to like fight them and get a chance to like fuck around with them. Literally, probably. I have a feeling that the Dom of the group, of the 4 of the new group that we just got introduced to, I have a feeling she's going to crumble when Utena comes back.
How do you feel?
Pissed off. I'm ready for round 3.
I have a feeling Utena is basically going to show off to this woman by the end. I'm assuming this is going to be probably a multi-part arc from here until the very end. I could be wrong, and I'm genuinely looking forward to seeing what they do with the story, because I kind of want to see like the contrast of the groups, because again, you can kind of tell with Utena and Kiwi and Alice, this is more about, they're more friends. There's genuine friendship there. There's no fear keeping them together like the way it is with the other group, where basically Dom Lady is essentially the bitch who controls them. Right, she is the undisputed leader because she treats the other ones probably like garbage. I could be wrong, but given the kind of the way they treated that last scene with them, I kind of went, this is kind of rough, because this isn't like how it was with like, Bubbles and Utena. But in the case of like Dom Girl and Musical Girl, man, it was rough to see that. Not gonna lie.
Some questions. Nothing cray. Just real simple stuff. Okay, how long have you guys been together?
2 years.
Yes.
Okay, Malcolm, are you happy?
Yes.
Do you like living with her?
Yes.
Have you been with a man?
No.
Did you have a good Halloween?
Yes.
Did you have a good Christmas?
Yes.
Do you like movies?
Yeah.
Have you been with a man?
Yeah. No. What? No.
Do you have a good Easter?
Yes.
Do you like booze?
Yes.
Do you eat food every day?
Yes.
Have you been with a man?
Yes. No. No. I've never been with a man.
Okay, I'm just asking.
I've never been with a man. I've never been with a man. I've never been with a man. I've never been with a man.
Okay, you don't have to be loud.
I've never been with a man. He keeps asking me if I've been with a man. I've never been with a man.
Okay.
I'm trying to get to know you. Have you been with a man?